Gentleman Fairfax, Mr. Hugo.
Mr. Speaker, I rise for a point of personal privilege.
Gentleman has the floor.
Mr. Speaker, over the last few days and just this morning now, we've heard our friends on the other side of the aisle urging for the expansion of Obamacare as it relates to Medicaid. And we hear all the various reasons for what we need to do and why we should do it. You know, the gentleman points out the painful cuts that the Medicare cuts and what they'll do to the hospital. But these cuts are nothing this body can do anything about, because he forgets to point out those cuts are something that were mandated by the Affordable Care Act. They were mandated in Obamacare. Now, I think we all agree that we should try to find ways where we can have more health care for Virginians, have more health care for all Americans. The question is this for us. Is the expansion of Obamacare as it relates to Medicaid the best way to help Virginians? You know, Chairman Jones and Chairman Landis spoke of the new long-term costs that the Commonwealth will have to do if we expand Obamacare Medicaid in Virginia, and how in the not-too-distant future, if we do this, we might be faced with the Hobbesian choice. Do we raise taxes significantly, or do we cut spending on other programs? But my question really today I want you to think about is beyond just the budget for Virginia. The question is, do the broader concerns of Obamacare make the expansion of Obamacare Medicaid in Virginia a risky undertaking for Virginians? The website was an inexcusable mess. It was something that was all out there. The front end now may work, but the back end still is transmitting bad information to the insurance companies. And maybe even worse, it continues to be racked with security problems, exposing Americans' private information in a manner that might make Target blush. And the Obama administration notes, hey, we've signed up 2 million people now on these websites. But they fail to mention that 6 million people have lost their insurance in that same amount of time, so it's a net deficit. I do high tech. Websites can be fixed. But it's the other problems with Obamacare that are fundamental and flawed and so intrinsic to the bill that we need to be very wary about what we do with this. It's all over the news media. It's not just one channel. The Washington Post talked about the hospital cuts that were in Obamacare. From the New York Times, people signing up on health insurance through the Affordable Care Act tend to be older and potentially less healthy, officials said Monday. A demographic mix that could threaten the law's economic underpinnings and cause premiums to rise in the future. My friends, that's the so-called fiscal death spiral. And make sure you understand, when you read the fine print of Obamacare on the fiscal death spiral, when the insurance companies have to raise premiums and start to take a hit, who takes the ultimate hit? The taxpayers of America will be on the hook for this. From Forbes, Obamacare promised that if you like your doctor, and you can keep your doctor. Well, we know that's not right. The Hill noted that the president delayed the second-year enrollment period until, after the 2014 elections. Convenient. According to Reuters, the Obama administration is delaying enforcement of a provision of the new health care law, and this is just within the last few days, that prohibits employers from providing better insurance benefits to top executives than to their other employers. The reason? It's so complicated, even the IRS can't figure it out. You know, in every media, from CBS to ABC to NBC, has reported on the numerous delayed mandates. And I think these delays in the mandates are constitutionally questionable, and so do a lot of others. You know, no matter what problems are revealed, our Democratic friends keep wanting to add more Virginians to the deck of a ship that's heading to the bottom of the sea. Obamacare is now a slow-rolling disaster. Every day is now a new revelation. Every day is now a new unintended consequence. Every day is now a new example of how this legislation was incoherently conceived and poorly implemented. For the life of me, with all its intrinsic flaws, I cannot see why my Democratic colleagues would want to hastily put more Virginians on this ship that is sinking. The ship that is sinking is called Obamacare. You know, the old English proverb said, measure twice, cut once. This is never more true than when dealing with our budget and the health care of millions of Virginians. To my friends on both sides of the aisle, Take your time. Obamacare, Medicaid expansion is a mess that will haunt all Virginians and could haunt all of us. Mr. Speaker, thank you very much.